everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the MLR show brought to you by our friends at the Fairway Restaurant and Bar in Evanston, Wyoming at the Purple Sage Golf Course. I'm Elon Olive, joined by Matt Petrie.
Hello, Walt.
And on the road, we've got our voice of the UHSRA, Mr. Blaine Myers. Blaine, how you doing?
Doing good. Hello, everybody.
Awesome. We got a great show for everybody. Later on, we're going to be joined by our good friend Sean Kirk and, of course, the top two all around Cowboys in the world of high school rodeo this year. We're talking about Ace and Burk Austin. They're going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show. But first, this is one of my favorite shows to do because it's the week before the UHSRA opens up for the new season. And everything's back to zero. We've got freshmen entering the conversation. We've got guys who didn't graduate that were probably juniors or sophomores that are going to make a big jump. You never know what's going to happen in a new season. So let's dive into it. Matt, you and I are going to the Oakley Rodeo this week. And first thing we're going to be covering is the breakaway roping. And there's something special about opening the season with breakaway roping in Oakley. Of course, we had Sophie Williams and Addie Huffaker, and I believe it was I cannot remember who the third one was, but they were all sub two to be top three at that rodeo last year.
Yeah, we saw a 1-9, thought that was great. Saw a 1-8, thought that was even better. And then all of a sudden, we see a 1-7 in the breakaway. I
Yeah.
mean, to kick off the season that way, you couldn't ask for much more.
Yeah, and as we look through the draw to this year, Charlie Bastion, she's back. Lola Jacqueline, Dally Haas, Mesa Child, Quincy Kossoff, she is now going to be a big player. A name that really stuck out because of what we saw her do at the Bit and Spur Rodeo, Laramie Johnson, she's going to be there as well, Matt.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you got a lot of new names all over in UHSRA this year, but Journey Morse, I think, is going to be breakaway roping this year too as a freshman. So going
Yep.
to be pushing big sister Dottie a little bit.
I was about to say, I'm looking at her name right now on the draw sheet. So you got Journey Morris, you've got Chadlyn Blomquist, who really had some breakout moments last year. So we'll see if she can continue that up. Liv Thurgood. Dally Heiner is now in the high school division. She is going to be one to keep an eye on. Kelsey Motley, Elle Lovelace. I think that was actually the one that was in the top three last year. Oakley McKee, she's going to be competing there as well. And then, of course, you've got the usual suspects: Addie Hefker, Bella Bigler, uh, Lily Vigorin, Tacey Hipwell, Dottie Morris. She's going to be 89 of 90 on Friday night, the reigning state champion, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, save the best for last. Maybe we'll see this year, but it's going to be fun. I mean, 90 breakaway ropers would probably take what, 2 hours, maybe,
Maybe. We'll see that with how
maybe.
quick they can
So
get on a roll. We'll find out.
yeah,
Blaine, we just went through those names, names that you're excited to see. Of course, we've got the freshman. We've got Dally Heiner. That's a big one. As well as Journey Morris, who won the state title last year. Going to be chasing her sister this year.
Yeah, this should be fun. I mean, it's going to be wide open to start. I think Oakley will be a good start to see who can come out and really set the pace for the season. But I wouldn't count out Dottie. She's such a good roper. I mean, coming out and doing what she does, especially seeing her at the state finals and how she came out and roped that last calf when she had to just come out and catch when all the pressure was on her. That's, you know, that takes a lot.
Looking at the Sal Bronc riding, we have three Sal Bronc riders coming Friday night, and then tomorrow on Saturday when we'll be covering only two: Hayden Bawley, a freshman, Hazen Robinson as well, and then you'll add William Scott on Friday night. So the Bronc riding, kind of similar to what we saw last year, Matt. It's starting light, but it's going to pick up as we get through the season.
yeah, it'll pick up. I mean, there's a lot of kids that are doing fall sports in high school, football or something else that we'll see come in the spring. But Saddle Bronk's going to be interesting one this year. I mean, Trigg absolutely dominated it last year. Who's going to step up and take that place?
Yep. Not an event we're going to broadcast, but an event that we keep an eye on nonetheless. For the first time since you and I have been here, Matt, the reigning state rodeo queen, Genevieve Graham, she is eligible to compete this year to try to do what we saw Hadley Joe Cotter do in Utah, and that's win 2 years in a row and get a second shot at that national rodeo queen title.
Yeah, she didn't finish far out of that top spot for the national queen. So give her one more year and take another shot at it and see what happens.
Absolutely. Moving on, we'll talk about that event in a minute. Let's talk about some tie down roping. Matt, coming out of the season, you would imagine probably one of your favorites would be Kirby Platt. But here's the deal. Cruz Rob is now entered in the tie down roping. Also, two young men that we saw in Idaho, Oak Smith is there. This just got extremely crazy in the tie down roping.
Yeah, I want to hear Blaine's thought on this, but Kirby Platt, I think, is still the favorite coming out. But those two make it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby is something else. That's just, I mean, not being able to watch or not being able to see those two, but every year is different, right? So it's how well, your horse is doing, how you're doing, where your mindset is. And I mean, I think Kirby is probably in that mindset. I'm going to come out and win this thing.
Also, ones you have to keep an eye on: Coda Peterson, Devin Johnson, Kyson Gordine, especially as well, Blaine. He's going to be, gotta count it back. I think he's only a junior this year. And then you got Alex Torgerson, who's also going to be there. And of course, you can't not talk about Ace Austin.
Yeah. I mean, what has he done lately?
I'll
Right?
let you ask him that question in about 20 minutes when we have him on the show. All right, let's go ahead.
No, I mean, all of those guys are great. It's going to be fun to watch this year coming through and, doing, I mean, boy, I think like you guys were kind of on our text thread showing, some of the draws and stuff. It's like, who can step forward and really take any one of these events, gals
Yeah,
or guys?
yeah. Well, in the barrel racing, I think this is going to be, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, looking at who is all coming back, I think this is one of the most star-studded events in the UHSRA this year. You've got your reigning state champion, only a sophomore now, Olivia McNulty. You got the other two that were right behind her with Charlie Bastion coming back for her senior year, as I believe it's her senior year, as well as Izzy Coughlin, who is only a sophomore as well. Then you've got Cortland Brotherson back. You've got June Bell, who's now entered the mix. Dally Heiner. On the girls' side, this barrel racing is going to be definitely must see TV, I feel like.
Well, just based on what we saw at the state finals, where times just kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter. The biggest handful of those girls are coming back for this season, and then you got the young ones, like you said. I mean, we're gonna set some. I'll just say it, we're gonna set some arena records in barrel racing this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Blaine, your thoughts?
Agree with Matt. That I mean, we're going to be. I mean, the way the state finals were going, Matt and I could hardly do our events in the small arena because we wanted to watch the barrel racing going on because the teams got faster and faster, and they were all really consistent through that finals run. If all the girls can, and it'll come down to, can your horse stay healthy? Can you stay involved? And we all know those teenage years, there's all kinds of outside pressures and everything. It's how you can deal with all of that, and stay focused on what you're doing, especially in the rodeo end of things during the weekend, and how well you prepare yourself through the week. So it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, Olivia McNulty, I mean, like you said, if she can come out and have a state finals and put a run like that together, in this first part of the season, there's no slowing her down.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Blaine, for Olivia McNulty, it all started on a Friday night in Oakley. So it's very, very possible that we see the state champion take a win on Friday night. But we'll talk more about our picks when you tune into the rodeo, as I'm assuming everybody will, on Friday night, 3:45 p.m. live from the indoor arena at Oakley. We'll have the breakaway roping and the barrel racing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and move on to the goat tying. And guys, the queen of Utah goat tying is graduated. Congratulations to Oakley Levitt, two-time state champion. Before that she was the reserve state champion her sophomore year, but she got it done her junior and senior years. But you look at this, and Ellie Thompson's coming back for her senior year, but you also can't count out Eliza Jones. You can't count out Bella Bigler. You can't count out uh, Dally Heiner. There's just, I mean, you guys got a front row seat to the goat tying showdown over there at the state final. So you guys just kind of hashed this one out.
It's you go first, Blaine, because I want to make my argument here.
Well, I wouldn't bet against LA because she's going to be, I mean, I would imagine in her mind, she is like, I want to be that top cowgirl going through the season and, winning that state title. I mean, she's going to be one to watch out for. But I mean, like Elon said, there is a ton of goat tying ladies that they're just going to be coming after it. And you can see it as they get through the season and how they progress. I mean, these ladies get better and better with each run.
I think it's kind of the same boat as tie down roping. You've got one person you think is probably the favorite, but there's a ton of other ones out there that could step up and come take it. Not high school related, but Gunny Freeland was at the junior high rodeo last weekend through a 7:03 and a 7:01 in goat tying. So wait till she comes up and gets into the mix.
Right? There's always somebody trailing you, and you've got to be consistent. That's the name of the game. It's consistently. You don't like, and I've said this 100 times. People probably say you're a broken record, but you don't always have to be number one every single rodeo, but you have to be in that top five, top six, seven, and in the states top 10 to be able to gather in points and just stay close enough to reel somebody in, like we seen during a college rodeo last spring, and this, the pole bending this, at the state finals.
And interesting thing, and it's going to be fun to see how it works out, is Utah cut back on the number of rodeos they have this year. So there's not going to be so many chances for so many other people to come in. So consistency is the key.
Yep.
All right, so that's what the goat tying looks like. And now we move on to the team roping. This one is always the one where I feel like we kind of sprint to the draws, that first draw every year. You're like, okay, well, so and so graduated, so who's so and so roping with? Well, now we have the answer. First, let's talk about Ace Austin. He's of course has roped with his brother Burk his entire high school career. He is now partnered with Cash Sharp. So that is going to be something to keep an eye on. And then another big one to keep an eye on will be reigning heading state champion Kirby Platt. He won it with Tate Crandall. He will be with Buster Hancock this season, at least according to this first draw. And there's a whole bunch of other teams. There's one that I'm really interested in. We've got Brody Beck and Hayes Hammerstrom. We saw them in the at the junior high finals roped together playing. Now they're taking their show on the road to the high school finals. There's another team I want to talk about, but we'll get to that in a minute. But Blaine, hearing about some of these new teams, your former team roper yourself, what's jumping out at you?
It's changing partners. It's just a whole new feeling. But I imagine these kids, they're getting practiced up and everything else. And that's just it's part of the game, you know, and these kids will probably you might even see a switch going into the spring. You never know. I mean, if the fall rodeos don't go good for a team, you know what? It's hey, we just aren't together, either heading, healing. It's just not working out. We're gonna, find new partners. But, to start it out, I mean, you guys are gonna get a front row seat in Oakley to see how these new teams how fast they're gonna be. And that it should be fun for you guys in that first part in Oakley and for the fans watching.
All right, Matt. Teams jumping out to you.
I mean, it's got to be Coda and Devon, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I,
that's
I
got
would
to be
imagine.
again your top pick. But what they found out last year is back to that C word, consistency. It's not you can't just be try to be fast every time. You got to get the 5, 6, 7 second runs and stack those up. So um, I think Kirby Platt, his teammate. I mean, there's a bunch of them that can get on a roll, and team roping is one of those things you watch and it's streaky.
Mhm.
You'll have 10 or 15 miss, and then you have 10 or 15 catch. You want to be in those ones every week that's the 10 or 15 catching. So we'll see how it goes.
We lost Blaine, but we'll get him back. Matt, my favorite story, and we're going to talk about this Saturday, and just because I'm a sportscaster, stories are a big one. And this is a big story. In June of 2025, they were selling these bracelets at the state finals. I put it on and I have not taken it off. Of course, this bracelet was for Boston Langston. I put it on and I have not taken it off except maybe 3 times in that almost 2 years. It's gonna come off on Friday because Boston Langston is making his return team roping with Coy Barker. If you were to tell me this was something that was gonna happen even 3 weeks ago, I would not have believed you. But this is an amazing story, and Matt, you and I get to go watch their second run together on Saturday.
Yeah, it's just an awesome story. He's had an incredible recovery from that wreck. I mean, it shows how strong he is, how dedicated he is to get back, and it's gonna put chills up and down your spine to watch him rope.
Well, and here's the deal. Before that wreck, they were climbing up the standings. Him and Coy Barker was on the head and side, Boston was on the heel and side. Coy and Boston were making moves. They even were probably a team that could have placed enough to get to the national finals at some point. Now they're switching. Boston's going to be on the head and side. Coy's going to be on the heel and side. Coy's been healing for the last year. We've seen him make some great catches. Is this a dark horse team that could be one that, if they get consistent, that C word, is this a dark horse team that could prove to be the feel good story of the century if they pull off what we think they can?
It's already the feel good story of the century, just seeing them back together. In the arena, I've seen Coy. He's been roping with his dad all summer at local rodeos on the heeling side, and the kid can catch. I mean, that kid can sling a rope. So we'll see where Boston's at as far as being a header, but they've got a chance, just like everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got goosebumps when I saw that name on the draw sheet. And I think I texted you. I'm like, this is real, right? And it's gonna happen. So we're gonna get to see that Saturday. I'm super duper excited. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next event. The pole bending. Blake Larson's going to be back, much like what we saw with Oakley Levitt last year. Blake Larson took her spot from reserve state champion to state champion, and she's going to be back in 2026, 2027 to defend that title. But one thing we learned at the national finals is Jane Jennings is going to be one that is going to be a serious contender. Actually, I got to double check. She may have graduated. I apologize if that's the case. But one that is going to be a problem for her Yep, Jane Jennings is competing this year. One that's going to be a problem for her is going to be Bella Bigler because of the state finals she started to put together. We've seen Dally Heiner win pole bending. This, if you thought it was going to be tough to win a state title for Blake Larson the first time, and then you add Ellie Thompson to the whole deal, it's going to be even more tough, I think, to win it a second year in a row, Matt.
Well, I mean, Blake had to fight for that title all year long, literally down to the very last run of the state finals, and it's not going to be any easier this year. I mean, I think I think Bella Bigler is going to be your cowgirl to watch this year. I mean, she's in every event. I think she's going to push Ellie Thompson for the all around. Just the way she came through state last year and what she's been doing since. I think Bella could step up and take the polls if Blake has a couple of off days.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. I want to find really quick a certain draw because you mentioned Bella Bigler, but while I do that, Blaine, your thoughts on the pole bending?
Yeah, I'm with Matt. That's that came down to just a race at the state finals. So, I mean, does Blake take advantage of her experience and really maybe put the pedal down and try to, distance herself? Because, I mean, at any minute, it looked like any time during the year, she could lay down a 19-second run and just, blow the competition out of the water. So, you know, that's where you see the competitors like Blake Larson and stuff come to the forefront and really say, hey, I'm going to just, get this out of reach and take it all the way home.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move to the next event, which is the bareback riding. And five of them, but they're big names. You've got Rhett Kelly, Hayden Rhodes, Wiley Thomas, Quirt Payne. So the only one we don't know is Hayden Rhodes there, Matt. So, and then on Saturday, who we will be watching in the bareback riding is the same four. So we'll get to see Hayden Rhodes out of Uinta Basin on Saturday. But Rhett Kelly, Wiley Thomas, Burt Payne, we know them. If you were to pick a favorite right now, who would that be?
Uh, right now, I would say Kurt Payne, but we've seen Wiley do his thing. We know what Rhett can do. Who knows what the new kid is, and what where he's going to come at. So right now, if you force me to pick, it'd be Quirt Payne, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that one.
Blaine, same question.
Say it with confidence, Matt. Come on.
Today, I
No,
believe it.
I think Quirt is, going to be a year older. He was riding pretty good at the end. As long as, some of these kids stayed practicing and stuff and didn't let off, during the summertime and stuff. I don't know. I like Quirt's riding style and stuff, and I think he was really catching on. And I don't. I think it's where, you know if he can stay focused and ride like he can, like we've seen him ride. I don't think there's anybody stopping him. He'd be kind of like kind of like a Trig in last year's saddle bronc riding. Where he's done it. He was there. So I think that's, if I was in Quirt's ear, that's what I'd be telling him. So
I don't know if that's very good advice because I think Rhett Kelly is just as well up there with Quirt when he's healthy. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to pre-qualify this with if he stays healthy. I'm just going to flat out say it. I think Rhett Kelly's the guy to beat this year. When he gets going and he lets loose on one, it's going. I think we're actually in for quite a showdown between those two and Wiley, based on what we saw at the Pinkwich Invite, Matt. But I think Rhett Kelly is going to be the guy this year.
I'm confident, but I'm still not going to bet against you.
I love Quirt Payne. He's got a great style. I absolutely agree with you, but I don't think it's going to be a. I don't think anyone's taking this one just running away. I think this is going to be a close matchup.
And then we'll see too what happens in the spring. We may gain
Yeah.
a few more bareback riders too. So
Well, yeah,
Right.
there's the kid from
Exactly.
Evanston that plays football that probably will have something to say about it before it's all said and done.
almost assuredly.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and move into our final two events. Let's talk bull riding. So right now we have 11 bull riders entered on Saturday. And here's the deal. Colton Young, reigning state champion, is not entered. I don't know if there's an injury that he's dealing with. I don't know if he also may be getting older to where he's entering some other shows, but he's not entered. But who is? Tragan Adams, Kyson Gordine, and Cam's Rich. They're all there in both weekends. So there's those guys. Those guys you have to immediately set aside as these are your tier one favorites. If I was to pick someone right now to make a jump from under the radar to being one of those tier two favorites, Matt, I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm going with Cajun Shepherd after what we saw at the Penguich Invite this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, after that, it's hard to argue against him, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know. We're in the exact same boat we were in last year with the bull riding. Tragan, Cams, Kyson. Who's going to get the best draw each week, get the best bull. So any of the 11 guys that we're seeing could step up and take it this weekend.
Worthy to note,
Yeah, I
Billy
think
Lewis is going to be riding, but he's not entered on Saturday, guys.
I think it's important what Matt said. It all comes down to the draw and the bull get to your style. And for for me, I look at Cams and Kyson. They're probably the guys that will be battling it out all year. But and if you got a guy that catches fire and gets on a few, like the icebreaker or whatever, and kind of, breaks in like Kyson did and just started riding really great in the spring. That's where you're going to have, that's where it's going to come down to, who's being the most consistent in the spring. And then it'll boil down to maybe not getting your draw as the bull you want, but being able to at least stick that bull and get some rides underneath.
Well, that's how Colton Young won the state title. He was the most consistent. He was the hottest bull rider in the state all spring. They couldn't throw him more than I think I can only count twice off the top of my head that he got bucked off that entire spring season that we saw Blaine.
Yeah, you're right. You get on a roll like that, like almost like Cam's did, toward the end of the season. Just he got on a roll, was able to get into the top four, and kind of, not that he, leveled out, but the state finals there, and if he could have, you imagine how he could have been if he could have kept riding like he was through the state finals and stuff, and how that would have elevated him. But it happens. It's just that's the nature of the beast when you're getting on a 2,000-pound animal and there's just a rope between you and flinging out the back door. That's what it is.
Yeah. Um, so guys, now we'll go ahead and talk about probably the event that we heard some rumblings about, Matt, and we didn't know if we bought it. And then the draws came out, and it was absolutely, I would say, stunning, quite frankly, Matt. I want to double check something before I say it, though. But let's just put it this way: the steer wrestling in 2026, 2027 in the state of Utah is going to feature two world champions and I have to double check something here. And one of the last two Idaho state champions. And then on top of that, you also have Cutter Kelly, who is really starting to figure things out. You've got Brixton Ivy, who won the state title in the junior high division. This steer wrestling is loaded, Matt.
Well, don't tease the folks, Elon. Tell them who's coming from Idaho.
Alex Marshall's coming from Idaho, is coming to Utah. And it made a lot of sense when I thought about it because he had an incredible season. He had an off weekend at state finals for Idaho, and he probably wanted to go someplace where the entire season means something. So I'm guessing that was a big deal there. But Alex Marshall's coming to Idaho. We've seen him at the icebreaker with the Austins. He's right there. Cruz Rob, who won the shoot dogging world title by a mile, he's now entered. And then of course you've got Ace Austin, the newly crowned world champion and co-state champion. Uh, this is gonna be crazy in the steer wrestling mat.
Okay, so you had both Blaine and me pick favorites in different events.
Oh gosh.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the
Yeah.
folks who's going to win the steer wrestling this year?
You go first this time, Elin.
Okay, all right. It's hard not to pick the world champion Ace Austin. I mean, and especially with the way he ended the Utah season. Yeah, we're talking a lot about the world championships and stuff like that. But in the UHSRA, he won, what was it, 5 of the last 7 rodeos? So it's hard not to pick him. So I'm gonna pick Ace Austin to be back-to-back champ.
Yeah, I'm going a newcomer. Wow, new to the state.
You're going Marshall.
I'm going Alex. You know, we've seen the kid dog a lot,
Hmm.
and when he gets on a roll, when he gets on a heater, he's going to be tough to beat.
It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick at all. Blaine.
Well, I like your pick of Ace, and I don't think I've seen Marshall run, so I can't really say. But man, I tell you, Cruz Rob, he's impressive. And if he's been jumping off horses, more than not, say he's just shoot dogging the shoot dog because that's what they do in the junior high. But he's been jumping off a horse for a while now. I look at some of those guys coming in, they want to prove something that they can jump off a horse and they can lay some cattle down. So, I might say Rob might pull up and if he is as good as he is shoot dogging, they might want to watch out. They just might want to etch his name in that belt buckle for the next 4 years. So
It could be another Tad Williams type run if he
right.
gets started the way that he's able. But yeah, this is gonna be bull riding and steer wrestling and barrel racing. Add that to the list now. I mean, they're all gonna be incredible, but when you look at those 3 events, those are just stacked. Um,
Well,
yeah,
wouldn't you
so
rather like it that way too? I'd
oh,
rather watch rodeo where you don't know from week to week and rodeo to rodeo who can come out on top. Sometimes, nothing against Trigg, but you always, he come out, he was, I mean, he's head and shoulders a bit above everybody else. So it made that event kind of boring in an aspect, but with all these new kids coming in and all the returning kids coming to UHSRA, and it's going to be an incredible year. And people need to watch because, I mean, you can't find better talent anywhere else.
yeah. And it all starts this Friday, 3:45 p.m. Myself and Matt will be live from the indoor arena in Oakley doing the breakaway roping and the barrel racing. We'll give you our picks for the night, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we invite you to join us on the Roku at MLR SN, Rodeo Channel 1, and on mylocalrodeo.com. We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we'll have Ace and Burk Austin to talk about their great run at Nationals.
Weekends are meant to be enjoyed, and great food and fun are part of the plan. At the Fairway Restaurant and Bar in Evanston, located at the Purple Sage Golf Course, you will find the perfect place to eat, relax, and unwind. Enjoy a cocktail and a meal worth slowing down for. Open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with a wide variety of delicious cuisines. Dig into their fresh soup and salad bar, or make your weekend complete with their mouth-watering prime rib every Friday and Saturday night. If you're making your way through Evanston, make your way into Fairway Restaurant and Bar. Great food, great atmosphere, where Evanston comes to eat.
Welcome back to the MLR show. Again, a big thank you to our friends at the Fairway Restaurant and Bar in Evanston, Wyoming, at the Purple Sage Golf Course. Welcoming to the show, of course, we had the voice of Idaho District 9, Sean Kurek, and our special guest this week, the top two all-around Cowboys in the world of high school rodeo. We have Ace and Burk Austin. Guys, we've talked with you before, but this is the first time we've talked with you since having what was a crazy week in Lincoln. So, talk to us about what life has been like for y'all since then.
It's been pretty chill, I guess. Kind of the same as before we left, just rodeoing and being home and stuff.
Do you find yourself kind of getting a little bit more a notice when you go to these rodeos, being the world steer wrestling and all-around champion now, Ace?
Maybe a little bit, but not as much as you'd think. It's pretty much the same.
Nice. Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know you've got some questions.
Yeah, just kind of tell us what your time in Lincoln was like. You pull up, and from there to the end when you win it, and you both win the close to the all around. What was that week like?
It was hot. That was a good way to start it off, but it was good. Nebraska was a really cool fairgrounds. It was probably one of my favorite fairgrounds we've been to for high school nationals. But it was cool to be able to compete with your brothers, something no one really gets to do, but to be able to go and do what me and Ace got to be able to go and do together, that's something that was unforgettable. And yeah, it was a great week.
What were your thoughts?
What?
What were your thoughts on Lincoln? What do you remember from Lincoln?
It was hot and humid for sure. I remember that. Sweated through about everything I was wearing. It was fun though. It was a good time. I enjoyed being there.
Yeah, so I'm going to steal a question from Sean and ask you guys, but team roping. If one of you misses, does that one have to sit in the back of the truck on the ride home from the rodeo?
Not usually. I guess it just depends how bad it was. Our first round, Ace missed our first round steer, and I came back in the second round, and I told him this is our last high school rodeo run together. Let's go make it count and make it something we could remember. And we went 5-3, and we ended up fourth in the second round. And it's those type of things that make team roping fun together. The misses aren't as fun, but still doing it together makes it still fun.
I think if I missed the second one, I might have had to ride in the trailer on the way home though.
No doubt, no doubt. So, all right, I'm gonna kick it to Sean next and see what he's got up his sleeve for you.
Well, first question, I'm going to build on that last question. So, reserve all around or reserve champion in steer wrestling and champion steer wrestler. Who had the major bragging rights? What was the ride back home like? How much jabbing? I've got a little brother that's a year younger than me. How much jabbing was between you two on the way back?
So we actually didn't ride in the same truck on the way there or the way back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess the bragging rights that got to get said is Ace didn't have to drive more than an hour home, and I drove the whole way home. So we took 6 horses out to nationals, and we had to drive 2 rigs to haul hay and horses. So he rode in one rig, and I drove the other rig, and I think the bragging rights came down to the fact he didn't have to drive all that much.
Yeah, it was nice.
Cowboy way right there. The guy that gets to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Berg, more for you. I'm going to go into something that's kind of more personal for you. You're getting ready to go on an LDS mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Tell us about it.
So I got my call in February, and I leave next week. I start at home MTC on Wednesday next week, and my farewell's this Sunday. And I'm going to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
English speaking?
Yep, English speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ace, what are you going to do team roping wise and coming in this next season?
I'm going to be roping with Cash Sharp, but I guess better knock the rust off my dad in case he needs to turn me some at home.
Awesome. Well, it's I've got more questions, but I want Blaine to get an opportunity. But I've got some major ones for Ace coming up.
I'm going to probably steal one here. Ace, you win the all around, you win the steer wrestling. What into this season, where's your mindset at?
Just stay focused on the goals I want to accomplish and stuff, you know. There's a lot of factors you can't really control, but I want to control as much as I can, do the best I can.
What kind of goals have you set for yourself?
I want to win state again. I think it'd be really cool to win the steer wrestling again. And just like aside from that, just regular stuff at home, stay practiced up and keep horses in shape.
And Burk, you're going on your mission. Do you get to do any? I don't know. So I'm coming at it blind. Do you get to do any rodeo while you're on a mission or anything like that? Or especially being in the States?
No, I won't. Luckily, I'm going to a place where there's lots of people that rodeo, rope, are around horses. So I'll get to at least make that connection and maybe rope the dummy with them or something. But other than that, I'm not supposed to ride horses and stuff on my mission.
I see. So you're more of a helping hand, I guess, in that aspect there. So, cool. Yep. So, Ace, how much have you and Cash Sharper roped together, and how do you think that teaming is going to fare?
We've roped a little bit at home and stuff. Nothing too big, but it's gone good. I think it'll be good. Team rope is one of those events that I feel like it's pretty easy to click as long as you're both on the same page.
Agreed. Well, congratulations to both of you. You guys did an awesome job.
Thank you.
All right, I kind of got a question for you guys real quick. So you got the buckles in Lincoln, but you also got the buckles at the kickball in Heber. Which ones mean more?
I don't know. I'd say the ones in Lincoln meant a lot more, but I'll keep the kickball one on display at the house.
Yeah, that kickball one, that's a prized possession in the state of Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Burk, I got a question for you. So you're going to be gone for the next 2 years in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then you're coming back and you're actually have already agreed to rodeo for Coach Draper at UVU. What was it about UVU that made you want to go there?
I've known Shane for a long time. We're really good family friends, so that was definitely a plus, being able to have a real connection with the coach that I'm going to rodeo for. Their program's great. They've been expanding it in the last couple of years, and they put on a great rodeo, and it's just somewhere to have a foundation for when I get home, and I felt like that was the place for me, and it's kind of why I chose to go to UVU.
Man, looking at some other people they've added, they're going to add Trey Bradshaw next year as well. So he'll be there when you're there. You guys will kind of combine in the steer wrestling and the tie down roping and whatever else you guys decide to do. But what excites you the most about the opportunity to college rodeo when you get back in 2 years?
I think one of the great things is helping with your education, but being able to do what you love. And rodeo is what my focuses are, but being able to expand my education is a big one. And I think just getting my feet wet in the independent part of rodeo, your parents aren't allowed to help you at college rodeos. They aren't down there. And I think that's a good thing. And being able to go do that on my own and figure that out is a big growing standpoint for myself.
Do you have any idea what you're planning on majoring in, or are you wanting to just kind of get into college rodeo to kind of springboard you into the PRCA? What's the plans there?
Both, but I'll probably just major in a business management, ag business type kind of head in that direction. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I haven't thought a whole lot about it. Kind of got 2 years to really nail that one down. But yeah, I want a pro rodeo when I get home, and so the college rodeo is just kind of going to help me get to the point where I want to be.
Awesome. Ace, question for you. Of course, steer wrestling, we've talked team roping, but you're also going to be entered in the tie down roping this year as well. What have you been doing in the little off season to kind of get ready for that coming up this week?
Honestly, I haven't roped a ton of calves. Burke's been home and he likes roping calves a lot, so I just stay up on the dummies and stuff. Just keep the fundamentals right, and I should be good to go.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Matt then for some questions I'm sure he's got.
Yeah, both you guys in your steer wrestling, did you ride the same horse, or tell me about the horses that you were on for the steer wrestling, especially for the national finals?
Yeah, so for the rodeo, we both rode the same horse. My dad hazed on the same horse. The bay horse we got, we really like him. He's been good to us.
I think that's what one of the coolest things was is not only did we end up 1 and 2 in the steer wrestling, but riding the same horse and going 1 and 2. That was something no one really expected and actually noticed until the short round when my dad had to walk the horses back up the middle of the arena to let Ace get on and run one.
What's the horse's name? Tell me a little bit about how long you've had him. And
We call him Oakley. He's 16 now, and I think we've had him for five years now. He's been my dad's horse, and before my junior year at state, I started practicing on him, and I really clicked with him. And I decided right before state that's what I wanted to ride, and I haven't ever gotten off of him since then. And then we had a good white horse that we had last year. He colicked and died in Vegas. That was Ace's kind of main horse. So then me and Ace went to kind of rodeoing on the same horse, and then we rescued a horse from some barrel racers earlier this year, and he's been great for Ace. And that's
This bay horse, when I first started riding him, I never really got along with him. Like, I kind of could make it work, but not always. And then I kind of started making it work a little better. And then we got this barrel rescue. And since we started riding him, I got along with him really good. And now I can kind of take either of them or whichever one I feel like is going better.
so which one are we going to see in Oakley this coming weekend?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Don't want to give away any secrets here, but I had to ask.
Yeah.
And I've got another question about high school rodeo, but I think Sean's got the same one, so I'm gonna let him ask it.
So, Ace, I'm not sure if you've looked at the draw sheets and who's entered in for Oakley this weekend, but there are two major competitors coming down from Idaho. I'm pretty sure you know which two I'm talking about. Are
Yeah.
you prepped and ready to compete against these two Cowboys that we know have been at that national level, have been constantly at the state championship levels? And I
Yeah,
think
I'm
you've
ready.
probably competed them against a couple times.
Yeah, I heard they were coming down. I was excited. I enjoyed rodeoing with those two guys. I got to know them while we lived up there before we moved down, and I think it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun to have competition and stuff like that. Make it tough and make you want to get better. You know?
Definitely iron sharpens iron right there.
Yeah.
Up. So, Burk, for you, Mission College, you've already got your PRCA card. How far along are you working on that?
I just have been on my permit this year. I think I've filled it about halfway. Just kind of been a learning season for me, and obviously I've learned that I need to gain a little weight before I hit the steer wrestling pro rodeos. But it's been good. It's been fun. It's always fun to go rodeo, and I enjoy it. So, yeah.
Well, make sure they buy the 2-suit thing for your mission. One when you're skinny and one you come back a little bit bigger.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that whole working out in the morning, take it serious. That way, bulk up.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully someone feeds me real good down there.
Cool. Well, I'm going to head it over to Blaine. That's all the questions I've got for you guys today. It's an amazing job watching you guys the last couple of years rodeo together. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be the first Utah season we won't have you two together to be able to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a fun ride, that's for sure.
Well,
I need to know more about this barrel rescue. I mean, talk to me about that. What happened?
Oh, well, we heard he hadn't been turned the first barrel, I guess, and so we got him home and decided to try running some steers, and he worked out, and he still got the attitude of a barrel horse sometimes, so we refer to him as that, but he's been working pretty good for us.
So no turn on the first barrel. He's a straightaway horse then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a good thing they didn't want him back because he liked running straight.
They couldn't break him of running straight, huh? You guys
not after he ran by a couple steers.
No. Maybe a big bit.
So, Burk, I know I'm going to go back to the PRCA and the permit and the card. How much different is it you've rodeoed at every level. How stepping into a PRCA rodeo, for people that might want to know, how much different is that to step into
Uh,
from high school?
it's definitely a big step from high school rodeos. My dad has rodeoed for a long time, and so I've been around it, but it's a snake pit going into those pro rodeos. I mean, you're competing against the best of the best, and that's what makes it so good. Is I went to a rodeo not that long ago, and I had an NFR guy come up to me and just tell me, "Hey, like, just make sure you are doing this." And it's just those things that you just like help out so much. And yeah, I really enjoyed going to the pro rodeos. They're just it's a different level, and it's something that will make you better, or something that you might not enjoy. But I enjoy the competitive level it brings, and you have to be on your A game at all times because that's what people try and do for a living. So you got to be there trying to make a living too, or you're not going to make it very far.
In steer wrestling, every all those guys seem to be a different breed. They, I mean, they're more like a family than the rest of the events, to say it as a better word, right?
Yeah.
They seem
Yeah.
closer and want to help each other more, do
Yeah.
more things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're a tight knit family. Everyone's there to help you. There's not anyone out for themselves. And uh, I got told if you're out there for yourself in the bulldogging, you're not going to make it very far because there's always someone needing help, someone needing a ride on a horse or a haze or a push or just anything. And the bulldoggers have always been close, and it's fun to be around those guys because they make rodeos fun that way.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I got for you guys. Again, congratulations. And it's been a joy to watch you guys all season, especially in the kickball,
Yeah.
Had to
Thank you.
prod you guys along a little bit to, get some effort out of you guys.
I
But
know.
Yeah.
we
You kind of
appreciate
cheered
it.
against us there for a minute, but I
What,
think
I
it
was gonna
just
say, Wayne, weren't you voting against them? I'm pretty sure you bet against them.
That was psychological.
I
It was
know we
Oh,
reverse
kind of sensed
psychology.
it. We kind of sensed it,
See?
but
Hey,
Right?
this year you can cheer for us the whole time.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'll even step in and knock one over the fence if you need me to.
You got it. You got
I'm an
show
old
it.
soccer hand.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Blaine. Thank you.
All right. I kind of have some questions about the short go, if that's okay.
Yeah.
One thing we couldn't help but notice was, yeah, Ace was coming in high call, Burke, you were second, and then Sam Hatterley was third. What was it like to have Utah like 1, 2, 3, just like that going into the short go?
I mean,
It was pretty cool. They do a short round meeting and they about a couple hours before the short go, and they announce everybody coming back. And to hear them announce the last three calls were from Utah, it was really neat to hear that.
Awesome.
yeah, it brought another level of pressure too, because you all want to do good, and I mean, it sometimes some bad luck happens, but it brought some pressure that Utah they came to show up, and we had to show out too. We had to leave it out there.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, watching from home, I was nervous as all get out when the
Yeah.
when the three of you guys went up, and then when what happened with Sam, it was like I think Sean mentioned it too earlier. We were just like, oh wow, this isn't in the bag. We gotta do something here. And then Burke, you go out, and I'll never forget the announcer goes, Utah, you have a title because he knew either way it's going
Yeah.
there. But one of the things that immediately jumped out to me was as soon as Ace did his run and it was done, the first person to meet him there was you. What was that moment like between you guys?
I mean, we've got to share it a couple times. When Ace won state, I got to be the first one to him, and uh, to do it for him at nationals, it's an unreal feeling. And I mean, it sucks to lose, but when you lose to your brother, it's almost like you won because it's staying with you too. And so it was a cool experience to be able to meet out in the arena. And I mean, Ace was sure hyped, and I was hyped too. It was cool.
Ace, what was that like for you on your end?
It was pretty cool. I remember I ran my steer and I got done and I seen everybody back there waiting for me, and it was pretty cool just to see because people are behind you and supporting you, but be able to see them all right there, it was really neat.
Awesome. Um, Ace, we've talked to Burke about his kind of goals and plans for the future. You kind of touched a little bit on your goals and plans for this season. You mentioned you want to win the steer wrestling title. You were really, really close to winning the all-around title in the UHSRA as well. Is that something that you're kind of circling as well?
A little bit. The all around something I wouldn't say I look to accomplish. As long as you take care of your events, it'll take care of itself.
Awesome.
Like, I mean, obviously it'd be a cool buckle to have and a cool title to have, but it's kind of out of your control. You do the best you can in each event and it'll all take care of itself.
Did you know that you were so heavily in play for the all-around going into the short go at nationals?
No, I had no idea. I thought, I don't know, to be honest, I never really paid attention to it, but it always seems like there's somebody there that does the cutting and the reining, and they do a couple other events they made it in, and they can just kind of take it away with them. But I had no idea. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Well, guys, when with all your success when it happened, I think we said it on the show the next week. It couldn't have happened to two nicer guys. We're super happy for you, super proud of you. It's been an honor to watch you the last few years, Burk and Ace. I'm super grateful we get to watch you one more year. Guys, unless anyone else has any questions, I think that's going to do it. Matt, Blaine, Sean, anything else?
Well, I'm going to say,
No, I just want to echo everybody else and say congratulations. Burk, we'll see you in a couple of years. Excited to see you back, and Ace, excited to see you this weekend.
Well, I'm going to say,
Thank you, guys.
Ace, go for the all around. Let's start cow cutting and reining.
All right.
He just said,
Yeah.
okay, you guys.
I told my dad I might start saddle bronc riding. He didn't think it was very funny.
Well, let's start with this one. Well, and I'm not saying cow cutting and reining's easy. That's the one that's easier on your body.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well,
But thank you guys for always being so good to us, and
Yeah, thank
it
you.
sure is fun being able to be on your show and see you guys at rodeos and keep doing what you guys are doing.
well, we love doing it, and we appreciate you guys coming on and taking the time to talk with us. And again, congratulations on an incredible run at nationals. We're super happy for you guys. And Burke, we'll see you in 2 years. Excited to see you at UVU. Ace, we'll see you this week. Anything else for wrap it up?
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. That is going to do it for this week's edition of the MLR show. Again, UHSRA season getting started this weekend. We'll start Friday in the indoor arena, 3:45 p.m. We'll have the breakaway open and the barrel racing. A big thank you to Matt Petrie, Sean Kurrick, Blaine Myers, and our guests for this week, of course, Burk and Ace Austin. And for all of us here at MLR Productions, I'm Milanov saying we'll see you later on down the road.
Rodeo kids, FRK, raised on grit and bales of hay, riding hoverboards past the food stand line with a rope in their teeth and a dog behind. They warm up horses like they're 10 feet tall, need a ladder just to mount, then outride them all. They are small, but tough as they come, getting run over, stomped, and they come.
Weekends are meant to be enjoyed, and great food and fun are part of the plan. At the Fairway Restaurant and Bar in Evanston, located at the Purple Sage Golf Course, you will find the perfect place to eat, relax, and unwind. Enjoy a cocktail and a meal worth slowing down for. Open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with a wide variety of delicious cuisines. Dig into their fresh soup and salad bar, or make your weekend complete with their mouth-watering prime rib every Friday and Saturday night. If you're making your way through Evanston, make your way into Fairway Restaurant and Bar. Great food, great atmosphere, where Evanston comes to eat.